Today I'll show you a magic trick that you might have seen by Zach King, for example. We will go from a shirt to a hoodie just by pulling on it magically. We will be using the iPhone 14 Pro and I'll show you everything from start to finish. Let's get started. Welcome back to the channel. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Julian and I'm the creator of Smartphone Filmmaking Pro. Before we get started with the shooting process and then later on also the editing part, make sure to hit that subscribe button in case you're not subscribed already. Apparently almost 90% of all people watching these videos are not subscribed and it's helping more than you know. So hit that subscribe button and now let's get started with the shooting process. So the first thing that is very important when you're making these kind of videos is having a stable video. It sometimes looks like these shots were made handheld and you can also do them handheld, but this is just much more complicated later on. And just for starting out, using a tripod will be your bet. I'll just show you. This is my tripod of choice whenever I'm shooting with my iPhone. This is the Pro version from Sandmark. This is very solid and I like this. I like to use this for traveling. And yeah, I have even put on another quick release plate so that I can interchange it much more quicker. But this will be the tripod of choice. The next thing that is extremely important when you try to create some seamless transitions or some magic effects like we're about to pull off in this video is you need to have some motion blur. When you're moving, there needs to be some unsharp parts, some blurry parts in your image. And the reason for that is very simple, because when you have motion blur, you can use that to hide the cut. That's basically it. That's the entire reason for that. And the best way in how you can get this is by having the correct shutter speed. Having the right shutter speed means having a shutter speed of twice your frame rate. So for example, if you're shooting at 24 frames per second or 25 frames per second, you should have a shutter speed of 1/50th of a second. And if you're shooting in a bright environment, and I'm using a light right here, so I would consider this a bright environment, you do need some ND filters. And ND stands for neutral density, and this is basically sunglasses for your camera. And the ones that I like to use for my iPhone are these from Panscheme. I have even made an entire video about this, but this is a fantastic setup with different filters. And this part right here, this has some MagSafe magnets in it. And all you gotta do, just align it onto your smartphone. It attaches automatically through the magnets. And now you just need to pick the right filter and then you will have the opportunity or the ability to have the right motion blur. So I'll just circle through my filters right here and I will be using the -2 ND filter. This is what it looks like. And basically all you gotta do, just slide that in. And as you can see right now, the lenses are much darker compared to, not having these lenses. Like sunglasses, like I've said before, and this will open up the opportunity to have the right motion blur. But that's basically everything to the preparation. That's everything that you need to know. And now I would say let's mount the phone to the tripod and let's get started. Let's have some fun. So I'll just pick my tripod and I will search for a position. Maybe I'll also just put it there. I'll just place the tripod right here and I'll just spread in my phone there. Just make sure that it fits securely, but that should be fine. Open up the camera app. And now let's see that we can get a nice framing and that everything is leveled. So I think that should be looking very good. This is 4K at 60 frames. We do not need that. 24 is just fine. And that's basically it. That's basically everything that you need to do. I will just very quickly check if my framing is right. And the way I'm doing this is I do have an Apple Watch and I will just open up the camera app on my Apple Watch right here. And then I can see if my framing is off or if it's looking good. It just takes a second, but I can now see that my head is cut off a little bit. So I just need to either bring back the camera just a little bit or lift it up. So let's do that. So let's check that one more time. I think this is looking much better right now. And that's basically everything that we need to do. That's the entire preparation. My tripod is now stable there. It's standing there. Nobody's touching it. And that's also something that is very important. Make sure that this position right here is not changing. That is very important. I will just hit the record button now on my Apple Watch. And you know, you can do some acting or not. I can pretend like it's so cold. And that's basically everything that you gotta do. I like to do these things maybe 2 times, 3 times, just to give me a few more options in the post-production. So let's do that one more time. Something that I was noticing right now, I was looking at the camera at the end, so I did not like that. I will do that one more time. But that's basically it for the shooting process. I will now just unmount my lav mic very quickly and then pull on the hoodie. So I have just put on my hoodie and I will connect my microphone later on, but I will now just shoot the second part of this transition. As you can see, I'm already wearing the hoodie, and something that is important that you should take care of, that you are in the exact same position like you were before. That's the first thing. And also make sure that the environment is not changing a lot. So if you're shooting this very close one after another, the effect will work best. So let's do the acting very quickly. Also, let's do that one more time. But this is basically the entire shooting process. So to sum it up shortly, make sure that you're using an ND filter to have motion blur. Make sure that you're using a tripod or something where your phone is statically and not moving throughout the entire process. And then maybe practice your acting skills. I'm not an actor, so I'm definitely not the best one in doing this. But that's basically it. That's the shooting process. And now I'll show you how you can edit this together. So let's do this. All right, so let's come to the editing part of this video. We have now shot all our clips, and now all we need to do is we need to edit them together. And the good thing is, with this transition and with this cool effect right here, the editing part is very simple. So we're doing this right directly on our smartphones, and I have been thinking about what app I will be using for this one, but basically it doesn't matter at all. So I will be using the app Capcut for this, but LumaFusion, iMovie, VN, you name it, all of these would work also just fine. So I'm opening up Capcut just like this, and the first thing that we need to do is we need to create a new project. So let's just tap on New Project. And next up, I will just select the clip that we have shot together this morning. So it has now created a timeline, and this is what it looks. And now basically all we need to do is we need to search the right spots for the first transition where I'm not wearing the hoodie, so where I'm just wearing the shirt, and then also the second part where I'm already wearing the hoodie. So let's just go through the video, let's search for it. And here I was looking into the camera, but I think I recorded the second clip looking into this camera right here. So I'll search for that clip where I'm looking into that camera. So I think it was the last one. Yeah, exactly, it was that. So yeah, here I start my acting right here, so that's the right spot. So I'll just tap on that once, then I split it up and delete the opening. So if we play it back now, you can see my acting is looking good. So yeah, that's the first part of the transition. And we need to search for a spot where the movement is sort of at the peak. And if you remember, we were using an ND filter to get a nice motion blur. And this is exactly what you can see right here. You can see, you cannot really see any texture on my hand or on the shirt. So that's exactly what we want. So just tap on that again and split it up. And now we need to just search for the second part of the transition. So yeah, this takes a bit, this entire process. So I think that looks good. As you can see, I threw some of this into my eyes here, but that's fine. So I'll pick that. And now basically all I need to do is I need to search sort of the peak of the motion also with the second clip. So we will zoom in right here because that's happening very fast. So Yeah, this is a bit fiddly on a smartphone. Maybe on a computer this would be a bit more easy, but let's try this frame. So let's delete the rest. And now we can play it back and see how it looks. And we can see if the transition flows. So let's do that one more time. Yeah, I think that is looking very nice. The only thing that is changing in the frame that's bothering me a little bit is the chair right in the right back here in the frame. So I think we can work around that a bit if we add some camera shake, or I don't know, if we would crop this to a 9:16 video for social media, this would also not be a problem at all. But when I'm looking at it right now, this does bother me a little bit, and this sort of ruins the effects just a little bit, as I was not, you know, cautious enough to take care that the chair is in the same position. And we could even fix this by masking out this part of the image. We could do that, but I think you get the picture now. I will play you the finished video, and throughout this video you will have seen the shot where I repaired this in the back right here. But overall, this is the entire process. This is how you can change from a shirt to a hoodie within a brief of a second. And basically you can do this many different times. So you can do this from a shirt to a hoodie, back to a shirt, and from a green hoodie to a blue one, and so on. So basically that's the technique and that's how it works. And now the only limit is your own creativity. Something that I will also do is I will also add a sound effect just at the peak of the transition when I'm cutting from one clip to another one, just to sell the effect even a bit more. Actually, the one that I'm using is one that I created by myself. Sounds a bit weird, but the sound effect that I was using for this sounds a bit weird, but the sound effect that I'm using for this is created by myself, and I was basically just holding my microphone up there and just, that's it. And I know that it sounds a bit weird and it looks a bit weird, but that's how I made it, because I could not really find a better sound effect. But that's basically it. That's the entire shooting and editing process for an effect like this. If you would like to learn even way more about filming with your smartphone, if you would like to master the technical details, if you would like to learn some more creative techniques, if you would like to master using your gimbal, and overall you just want to create some better looking videos in the fastest way possible and also in the easiest way possible, then make sure to click the first link below that like button. That will bring you to our totally free webinar where I share the top 5 secrets to shooting cinematic videos with your smartphone. It's totally free. We've had over 200,000 people go through this training and it has a 4.9 star rating. So definitely make sure to not miss that, try it out. And in case you have not seen the video where I'm comparing the Science Smooth 5S to the DJI OM6, then watch this video over there. Bye bye.